May it please the court? Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, my name is Charlotte Lloyd, and I represent the defendant in this case, Ms. Lucy VanPelt. To my right are my colleagues, Ms. Natalia Novak and Mr. Bartholomew Simpson. Now, this trial is about intent versus impact. My client, Lucy VanPelt, has been accused of purposefully causing pain and suffering on the part of the plaintiff, Mr. Charlie Brown. She has been accused of dishonesty and of trickery. However, all of these accusations are utterly ridiculous. You see, my client, Ms. Lucy VanPelt, never intended for any of this to happen. And while she is responsible for the act, she is hardly responsible for the utterly unpredictable result. Allow me to set the scene. On September 12, 2016, Ms. Lucy VanPelt was playing in the field beside her school, where she's an honor student, in fact, with her little brother Linus and Charlie Brown's own dog, Snoopy. Now, Charlie Brown walked into this situation on his own accord. He wasn't invited. Lucy did not know that he was going to be there. She couldn't have known. She couldn't have planned it. But she was happy to see him. She invited him over and offered to help him with his place kick. Now, initially, Mr. Brown refused the offer. Why, you may ask? Well, admittedly, my client, Ms. Lucy VanPelt, is a bit of a prankster. Now, a few times in the past, she has offered to help Mr. Brown with his place kick, only to pull the ball away at the last moment before he has a chance to kick it. He was well aware of this history before he even set foot on that field. So at first, he did refuse the offer. However, it was at this point that my client pulled out, supposedly, a signed legal document promising not to pull the ball away until he had had a chance to kick it. Now, Linus and Snoopy will take the stand later today, and they will talk to you about the document and about what happened that day. However, neither one can attest to what exactly the document said, since neither one actually got a chance to read it, nor can they attest to whether or not Ms. VanPelt actually signed it, since, as previously stated, neither one got a chance to get a good look at it. Mr. Brown, however, did get a chance to look at it, and with his limited legal knowledge, he decided that he could trust this document that was unnotarized and written up by Ms. VanPelt, who, while sharp as a tack, in fact, is not legally trained in any way, and is a minor. So he decides to trust this document and he goes to kick the football. However, it's at this point that Ms. VanPelt picks up the football before he has a chance to kick it. She expected for him to laugh it off. She expected for this to be a harmless prank, one that she could share a laugh about with one of her childhood friends. But now, here she sits, slapped with a lawsuit over what she thought was just another harmless prank in a long string of harmless pranks. She's being poked and prodded, accused and yelled at. It's scary stuff. Now, way back in the day when I was in high school, I was a Latin student. And while we are in the world of civil law right now, there are two Latin phrases that are incredibly important in the world of criminal law. The first is mens rea, or guilty mind. The second is actus reus, or guilty act. Now, in order to convict someone of a crime, you must determine that both of these things were present at the time that the crime was committed. You can't get put in jail for just wanting to hurt someone, and you can't get put in jail for hurting someone without meaning to. The intent has to match the impact. In this case, it doesn't. Lucy never intended to hurt Mr. Brown. Did she hurt him? Yes, clearly she did. But should she be held responsible for the result of what she thought was simply a harmless prank? Now, what Lucy did was wrong, but I don't think that she ever intended for it all to come out this way. Now, Linus and Snoopy, who were both there at the time of this situation, will be taking the stand later today. They will speak to you about the prior relationship between Mr. Brown and Lucy. They will speak to you about Lucy's intent and attitude. They will speak of Mr. Brown's initial reaction to the prank. They will speak of the heartbreak that Lucy experienced after realizing that Mr. Brown was hurt. I implore you to exonerate Lucy. Ultimately, Lucy VanPelt never intended for any of this to happen. While her act was guilty, her mind was not. Thank you for your time.
Wow.